Om Shanti. In today's Murli, in the blessing, Baba uses a word, sympathy. And whenever Baba uses some particular words, we need to first understand what Baba is meaning by that. Because sometimes when we use words in the world, they mean very different. Now, the thing is, we live in a body conscious world for 63 births. All our language, our vocabulary is very body conscious. And the connotations of words are also very body conscious. So, when Baba, is uplifting us on the spiritual plane, then he cannot create new words. So he has to use the vocabulary which is in practice. But we also have to understand the intention with which Baba uses those words, so that we can get the implication of what Baba is telling us. So, this word sympathy, now usually in the world, when you say sympathy, it is a very body conscious word. Because, it is like sympathy for the poor, sympathy for the downtrodden. So, it's a word of ego where you feel you are wealthier or more powerful, so you are kind of having mercy on them. But Baba says that's not sympathy. What I am talking about is spiritual sympathy, where you feel that the other one is also Baba's child. And I have taken everything from Baba. So I need to share my gifts with that one. And in the spiritual journey, what I have felt is, it's not what you give actually, but that bhavna that goes behind that act of giving, that's very important. And that's what nourishes the soul. I remember earlier, parents didn't have a lot of income. So, these days we earn much more than we earned earlier. So, the capacity to earn salaries, big fat salaries, has increased. Earlier, the incomes were meager. But all the attention of the parents was on the child. And the child, so even when the parent bought a very small gift, maybe a very ordinary pencil box, but then he put in so much of love and effort and thought and attention into it, that pencil box gave that feeling to the child that my parent loves me. So that is sympathy. So when you when you really feel when you really have that heartfelt love for another one, and you invest your thought and time and attention and energy into thinking about how to make the other one feel loved and how to create an environment for peace and purity that the other one can experience. That is sympathy. And now that we have knowledge, we know we don't need pencil boxes. We need a space of peace, a space where there is purity. We need an environment, a culture of love and compassion and power, spiritual strength. So Baba says, when you have sympathy, when you understand, when you feel that this is what the world needs right now. This is the call of time. This is what every soul is craving for. What is every soul craving for? The right path, an environment of purity, safety, security, peace, love, happiness. So that is what everybody needs. And when you keep that in your awareness, and you are always, doing something or the other, even if it is not a direct, even if there is nobody receiving that in the present moment, but when you put in your thought and effort and time and attention to build that, to create that environment, that is an act of sympathy. And I will just tell you one thing. So, sometimes, so I will tell you one incident. So there was this brother, and he used to come for the course to the center, and he used to come after office. So he used to come directly from office. So when he used to come, he was very tired, and he used to just sit down, and not much would enter his buddhi because he was already filled with all that happened during the day. And then when he came the first day, I thought that, everybody has come from home and this Baba's child has come from office. So I asked him, do you need some water? And then it was the winter season. So I offered him some warm water. And then I gave him one toli. And then 4 or 5 days later, I asked him, so this went on for some days. And then some days later, I asked him, do you understand anything? Or are you, too filled up with those thoughts that you don't get it? So we could change your time or something. So he told me a very nice thing. He told me, I don't need to understand anything. I just know I have to come here every day. So I said, how do you know that? So he said, because you people are compassionate, and that's very important. So I have seen that in that small act which you did, which you fetched water for me, you gave me one toli when I was hungry. That's enough, and I will keep coming here for lifetime, and I'm sure I can understand something or the other someday. And it is immaterial whether I understand it today or not. And it was very beautiful. This was a very beautiful experience I had in Seva. So Baba says that, when you have sympathy, then the other soul, they feel nurtured in that sympathy. And sympathy is not in the act per se. It is in the feeling that goes behind the act. That's very, very important, because sometimes, these days there is a culture of, gifting big things and doing, throwing elaborate parties or doing something big for the other person. But I don't know whether that nourishes the soul, because you are investing your money, yes, but I don't know whether one is investing that much of thought and love and attention and care for in that thought of creating that whole thing. So Baba says the world needs sympathy right now. And you have to be full of this capacity and this bhavana of giving if you want to nurture the world with that gift of sympathy. And Baba says, you are the children who can do that. And when you do that, then everybody's heart feels fulfilled. And every soul is very powerful. I don't think that any soul is incapable of acquiring the health, wealth, and whatever they need. So every soul can have a peaceful mind, they can have wealth, they can earn for themselves, they can do everything for themselves. The only thing you need is to fill their heart with Baba's gifts through these acts of sympathy. And I remember in one class, Janki Dadiji was saying something very nice. Dadiji said that, when we did 14 years of tapasya, so in Karachi, and so in Karachi when they were there, so there was 14 years of tapasya, and people think that maybe 350 400 people was staying together and doing tapasya, but it was not like that. We 350 400 Baba's surrendered children were not in one place. They were all scattered in 5 to 6 different or 7 different buildings, and then it was not like every child stayed with Baba. So Brahma Baba was there, but then he used to meet everybody, but it was not like you stayed with Brahma Baba. But Dadi said that every child felt a lot of love from Brahma Baba, because Baba's attention was always on every child of Baba. So of course Shiv Baba has his drishti on every child, but even Brahma Baba had his dhyan or attention on every child. And that attention made every child feel that I'm special, I'm unique, I'm responsible, I'm loved, I'm cared, and I have a return responsibility of that love. And that is what made them, take these steps of courage, which the world thinks are very big steps. But when Baba loves you, these are very small steps of courage you take. So this is what Baba is asking us to do. Baba is saying, you fill your heart with what I am giving you, and then you should have the wealth of sympathy, so that you take care. So so Baba's, so sometimes there are these questions, like once there was this sister and she told me, Didi, is it important to is the Murli not enough? Is it also important to have a manthan? Or sometimes why can't we have just meeting but not bhog? We could just meet but no bhog. So there are always these questions about why do you people do so much extra? But Baba says that every soul has so much time, attention and capacity of love, and if you have sympathy, then you use it to uplift others spiritually. And when you're selfish, you just don't use it, and then you lose that capacity eventually. So Baba says that whatever you have gifts that drama has given you, and you have gifts that Baba has given you. So why not use those gifts all the time, so that you create an environment? You see, it was Brahma Baba's sympathetic heart that he thought that when children come, they should have a place to stay. Or it is the sympathy of Brahma Baba which said that there should be a yajna where there should be staying and food and everything, and every child should feel the love of coming to Baba's home. So this love, this act of sympathy makes you very creative. You create. So you create spaces, you create environments, you create methods, you create different yuktis you apply, so that every soul receives Baba's knowledge, love, peace, purity. So this is what act of sympathy does. So this is something. And then Baba today talks about courage also, and Baba says courage and success. So where there is courage, there is success, because every soul is entitled to success. We are all Baba's children, God's children. Success is our birthright. Yes, just like God never fails, God's children never fail. So the success is our birthright, but Why are we not able to have our birthright? Is because we put all these self-doubt and fears and worries and all of those things in middle, We make effort, but we do it with ego and self-doubt and fear and worry and what if, but, and all those feelings. And that is why success evades us. So Baba says, when you have courage, what is courage? So you see, with Gyan we have understood that we have had 63 births of vicious karma. So obviously we will have feelings which are of low consciousness. Yes, those thoughts will come, those feelings will come. So that is not the problem. The feeling is not the problem. The problem is when you succumb to those feelings. And when we say courage, it means taking one thought, one determined thought, and overcoming those feelings. So whatever low thought, low feeling you are having coming from those old sanskars, you overcome them with courage. And when you do that and you keep your feelings pure, then success is your birthright. And I think that the only effort is spiritual effort, and everything else is a byproduct of spiritual effort. But people, not even people, Maya tricks us into believing that postpone spiritual effort, make every other effort, and then you will be successful. But if you understand this one thing, that every other effort is very overrated. It is only one effort, the spiritual effort, where you make the effort to align yourself with your core qualities, with Baba's qualities. That effort you make, and every other effort you don't have to make. Yes, so every other effort becomes very easy, and it is my experience that nature itself becomes the bestower. So, there is one brother and he is very concerned about me all the time. So, what he does is, whenever we take up a project or some seva, he would tell me, Didi, I am very experienced. Let me tell you, these are the hurdles and the obstacles that come in this kind of a work. So let me warn you in advance. So you must take care of this and that, and this happens and that happens. And then you have to deal with all this nonsense before you can go and do that work. And yesterday he told me something very beautiful. He said, from this day I will not tell you this happens and that happens, because every time I give you a long list and nothing happens with you. So all those challenges that come in every person's way, they don't come in your way. So I said, because I don't invite them. Even when you give me that list, I don't invite them. So even when you tell me that, I know this is God's work and it can happen magically. And whenever there is an obstacle, sometimes there are obstacles, but then you don't need those worldly ways to overcome them. You can overcome them with yoga power, you can overcome them with love, you can overcome them with, faith. I have seen that when I have told people that I believe you will help me, they have helped me. So just telling this much, that I really believe that I will get the cooperation from you, and believing that makes you eligible for the cooperation. Yes, so you don't have to do very much for everything. Just go this way and use Baba's gifts to overcome obstacles also, and they go away. You don't have to be very worldly wise. I don't know whether worldly and wise go together also, because when you're very worldly, you are not wise. You're creating problems for yourself. And sometimes people make a comment, okay, Even if we tell this person something, they won't understand. So let's not mess with this. Let's do the work, because the more you are well versed with the ways of the world knows you are well versed, so they show you their ways. But if you're very innocent, very simple, they don't show you those ways also. Okay, so that is also there. So this is one thing. And then, so courage means overcoming all that chatter within. And then you arrive at what is your birthright, which is success. Your every thought, every word, every action will be successful. Okay. Then Baba today says that, knowledge, Baba says, I rain the rain of knowledge, and this rain purifies. Okay, so just like the physical rain, it cleans and washes. This knowledge rain, the rain of knowledge, it purifies the soul. Now the thing is, Baba's knowledge, every single sentence in Baba's Murli is to make us pure, because the aim of this knowledge is to purify. But the question is, do I want to be pure? What is my aim? Do I want to be pure? Yes, and if I want to be pure, why? So do I understand that this is the time to only aim for purity? Because this is the time to go back to the pure world. Baba has given us the knowledge of the cycle, and Baba has told us that the cycle tells you that this is the time of destruction. And everything in the old world is going to be destroyed. And then you see that when you ask people, you ask anybody walking on the road, you ask them, what after Kali Yuga is destroyed? They will instantly say there will be Satyug. Because we know it's a cycle. So when we can see that destruction, don't you understand that this is the time of destruction? Yes, and when I was working with the government, so there was one officer in my office, and he once told me, you Brahma Kumaris are always talking about destruction. So I said, I did not tell you about destruction ever, but you have told me many times about destruction. So he told me, how have I told you about destruction? So I said, you keep telling me work in the sustainability project, and you are giving me those sustainability work. So we were dealing with SDGs. So I told him, you are giving me that sustainable development goal work, right? So what does that mean? It means it is unsustainable. And let me tell you, you're not doing anything to make it sustainable. So we are using these fancy words all the time. The whole world is saying we have a sustainability problem. So when you can't sustain, you perish. That's how it goes. And are we doing anything to make it sustainable? Do you think that the way we are exploiting nature, or the way we are exploiting our own inner reserves for sensual pleasure and not restoring it? We are cutting trees, not planting trees. We are feeding on our spiritual strength, not building it. So if the whole world is going that way, then destruction is coming. Everybody knows that. But the thing is, we have a very strange buddhi. And our buddhi is so strange that you see people dying in your left, right, in front of you, behind you, and then you think you will never die. So you can see that everything is collapsing. but still you don't acknowledge that this is the time of destruction. And we have a strange idea that if you just wished something away, it would go away. So every day you wish that destruction doesn't happen, it'll go away. No, it doesn't happen like that. So Baba says that everybody knows that there is going to be destruction, and although people say that the BKs say there'll be destruction, what else would there be if you are not doing anything about how the world is moving towards destruction? And then Baba today says that when there is destruction, you know from the scriptures, every religion says that at the time of destruction, God comes. And He does the act which allows us to move forward. In every religion, if you look at Christianity, they talk about the Noah's Ark. They talk about some people being taken across and others going and finding their place in destruction. In Islam also there is a similar story. In Hinduism it is called that Vishnuji took Matsya avatar, and then he asked, create a boat, make everybody sit in that boat, and then that boat I will take across and others will perish. So Baba says there is, at the time of destruction, God comes and creation happens. That is also very celebrated in every scripture. Every religion celebrates this. And then what is it that makes you question that I have come? And I will definitely teach you something which you have not learnt until now. Because it is said, if you do what you have always done, you will get what you have always got. So obviously I will teach you some things which you were unaware of and you were doing until now, and because of which you were moving towards impurity. And then I teach you newer ways of thought, living, action, which take you towards purity. What is the rocket science in that? It is very, very simple to understand. And Baba says, what do I teach you? So I teach you to remember me. I teach you to churn the discuss of self-realization. I teach you to always keep churning that I am a deity soul. I am that soul who lived in the soul world. And I am pure, peaceful, royal, dignified, so worthy in myself. Keep churning that. Keep remembering me and keep seeing yourself as my child. And then Baba today says, don't eat food created by, cooked by people not on the path of purity. It is said, Jaisa Anna Vaisa Man. So, if you consume food which is cooked by, so Baba today says very interestingly that Baba says, you children are now changing from dirty to clean. You have the understanding that you must not eat food cooked by impure people. It is also said, as is the food, so is the mind. Sin accumulates for those who buy bad things, for those who prepare it, and also for those who eat it. So there are some who don't eat it, but they buy it for others. Yes? Or there are some who don't buy it, eat it, but just prepare it. So you accumulate sin in all these three ways. So Baba is telling us a very deep karmic philosophy, and we must understand this. So refrain from buying impure food, cooking or eating. So let's say you don't eat non-vegetarian anymore, but you buy it for others, or you cook it and give it to a family member who likes it. No, you share that sin with them by doing that. So Baba says, pay a lot of attention to food. And then Baba says that food affects the mind, and also company affects the mind. So Baba says, when you are in the company of Lokik people, so you go home, yes, so you are listening to Gyan and everything, and then you'll go to your ancestral home or village, or to your people, the ones you call your people. And then what happens? Their company starts coloring you. So that is also very important, because most of the times, you go home and then also eat food prepared by them. So that is also another reason. So Baba says, be very careful about these things. Okay, so these are very deep karmic philosophies. So acts of the mouth is not only speaking but eating also, and they affect your state of the mind. And Baba says, pay very good attention to what I am teaching you. I am giving you knowledge which will purify you. Knowledge of everything, knowledge of how to wake up, what to think, who to remember, what to eat, how to engage with others, how to sleep, how to, keep observing what you are thinking. I am giving you the knowledge for everything. I am giving you the knowledge of how to use your time, thought, money, everything. And Baba says, with this knowledge, when you change your actions, then you will change your destiny. You will become pure. Okay, so we didn't have this knowledge. That is why we were doing everything with good intention, but no knowledge of good action, so we couldn't accumulate punya karma and become pure. Now we have this knowledge. And then Baba today tells us something very nice. Baba says that when you keep doing what I am telling you, and slowly, drama will also show you that whatever Baba is saying is right, just like it happened in COVID. So even children like me who were in Baba's Gyan for so long had deeper faith during COVID. So, the faith intensifies with scenes of drama. So Baba says, in the future, you will have many scenes in the drama which will help you intensify your faith. And then what happens is, as your faith is intensified, you start feeling detachment from the old world, and you start imbibing Baba's dharana. So whatever Baba asks you to do through the mind, mouth, words, acts, with your time, money, you start doing that because you have deeper faith. And then what happens is, Baba says, there will be enthusiasm in your intellect. And this is a very new term. In Hindi, Baba says, buddhi ka hausla. And I was thinking about this, what is this buddhi ka hausla? So you'd see that the biggest thing that is missing right now is enthusiasm. Yes, these days, what do you see? Lack of enthusiasm in everybody. Yes, and then you're trying to motivate yourself through physical methods, through speeches and through exercise and this and that and through medicine, and still it's not working. So Baba says, just when your faith grows and your dharana grows, when you start imbibing Baba's directions, when you start doing what Baba is telling you to do, then you have enthusiasm in your buddhi. So you have a lot of zeal and enthusiasm within. And that enthusiasm is not dependent on any external profit gain or any motivation coming from outside. And then when the whole world is going through hopelessness, you will be very enthusiastic, and this enthusiasm will make you do seva, and that is what will make you an angel. Because who is an angel? An angel is somebody who serves despite circumstances. Yes, so Baba says, this is how you turn from a Brahmin to an angel, by having this enthusiasm in your buddhi, which happens because as the drama progresses, you start having faith that this is Baba and whatever he is saying is true, and you start imbibing Baba's directions in your life. And if you look at the whole, this Ishwariya Karya, people are amazed at how God's children are always motivated. Yes, and this motivation, this enthusiasm, this willpower, even when your hormones are deceiving you, even when the situation, your own body is, giving you a sense of helplessness. So we saw this enthusiasm work in case of dadis. So even when their bodies were in great pain, they just felt very enthusiastic enough to smile, to ask the doctor, how are you feeling today? Yes, so that much of enthusiasm you will have even when your body is failing, your hormones are deceiving you, or other circumstances are just pulling you into fear and doubt and worry. But this buddhi, this strong buddhi with willpower, with great zeal and enthusiasm, will enable you to keep up your spirits and seva in the last time. So this is what Baba says, and Baba says that you keep doing your thing and then drama will help you. And I will tell you one incident. So there was this brother, and he used to forget things. So, he didn't have a very good memory. So he would keep reading the Murli, writing the Murli, revising the Murli. But whenever you ask him, he wouldn't remember any point of the Murli. And then he would always tell me, Didi, I feel very bad. I don't remember the Murli. I try to remember Baba, but I'm very anxious all the time. I can't remember Baba. And then he would always be very sad about it. But when he had an illness in the body and he went for the operation, he was very calm. During the operation, during that whole hospitalization, he was very calm. He was not anxious. He had deep faith and everything. And then I told him, you did really well. I didn't expect this from you. You were really well behaved. And there were no signs of you being anxious or anything. And then he told me, I don't know, Didi, but I felt like Baba is there with me. And I tried to feel this many times, but earlier I didn't feel. But in that moment, I don't know, I felt like I don't need anybody around me. Baba is with me. And even if I leave the body, it's okay. I'm with Baba, I'm feeling very nice. And then he got operated very nicely, successfully. And why I'm telling you this is because, if you keep making consistent effort, then you realize that just like, you keep hammering and then the final blow breaks something. Similarly, you keep making effort. Sometimes you feel, kuch ho to nahi raha hai, we are only doing it. But then drama helps you. And then one day you start breaking those old patterns which were very hard to break. And then you start having that dharana, even constant remembrance you will have. But Baba says, you keep making effort and then drama will help you. Then there'll be dharana, and then there'll be this transition from human to angel. Okay, so just remember what Baba tells us, and Baba is giving us the knowledge, and if we keep imbibing the knowledge, then purity is not far away. Okay, Om Shanti.